the things that we'll be paying attention. One of the leagues that we'll now be paying attention to, because he obviously goes into a league that is good by all standards. I mean, it's you won't consider it a weak league, you know. So, I mean, it's a good move for the player. It's I think looking at the financial bit as well. I don't know how many teams in Europe today would be willing to break the bank for Kwesi Sibo. Okay, but because of what he's been able to do at national team level and even at club level in Spain, they feel that is a player they should break the bank for. And why not? If the player is available and there's possibly no transfer fee to pay to anybody, why not? Just do the needful, bring him in, and you never know where he might take the team. So I believe this move. I trust this move, and I'm just hoping that once he gets in there, he'll be able to show everybody what he's made of. I think that he will not go there and disappoint. I don't think he will go to Libya and then drop the tempo. I think he'll go to Libya, put in some very good performances, and then get the team to the level they want to get to. So for Kwesi Sibo in his career and where he is at the moment, I mean, at 28, it's a good move for him, and we wish him all the best.
Okay, we'll see how things play out.
I mean, but you see, the other part is that we've seen quite a few players go to Libya and not do well. Albert Amoah is one of them. Okay, Albert Amoah went to Libya, struggled, had to come back. He even went to one of the top sides, Ali Benghazi. In recent times we've seen Richmond Mensa, the Kotoko boy, Richmond Lamptey.
Yes,
Richmond Lamptey also, after leaving APL, signed for a Libyan side. And then Mediama had this guy, Jonathan Sowa. Jonathan Sowa left Mediama, moved to Libya before moving to Tanzania. So, but he too didn't really cut it there. So, again, it's a mixed bag. But most of the players who left, you would say, played on the local scene before moving to Libya.
Yeah.
Now he comes in with a bigger profile, playing in Europe and all. So, I think he'll find his feet in Libya. He'll find his feet. He might succeed with Al-Swehly. My only challenge is if Kwesi Sibo can still nail a spot in the Black Stars.
In the Black Stars.
That's where my problem is.
That's your concern.
Because now he goes into a league that we may not really follow in terms of the optics, in terms of going to watch him play.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people will be watching Kwesi Sibo play in Libya. That in itself robs him of the opportunity to be seen. Look, when Kwesi Sibo ended his spot in the Black Stars, it was down to people watching him in Spain.
Yeah.
And saying that, yes, Kwesi Sibo is a very good player. His exploit in Spain got him the chance to get into the Black Stars. Now he goes to Libya. Based on what we know about the player playing for the national team, he's not a player that the national team can't do without. Based on what he's done that we've seen. He's not an indispensable part of the Black Stars.
Okay.
Now he goes to Libya, where we don't get to see him too often. Can he maintain that Black Stars spot playing in Libya? That is the question he himself would have to figure out. And that's why I keep saying that, look, after making this move to Libya, money-wise, super, playing time-wise, super, being a big boy in the Libyan league, super, I think that the biggest problem for him will be how to convince any Black Stars handler that he has what it takes to remain in the Black Star setup. That is where the problem is going to be. Because already, just like I said, if you open the phone lines and ask Ghanaians if they want to see Kwesi Sibo back in the Black Stars midfield, a lot of them will say no. Because when he got the opportunity, he didn't distinguish himself with exceptional performances worth talking about or worth waxing lyrical about. So he's not a mainstay in that Black Stars team. He goes to Libya. What happens next? And that's why earlier this morning I was telling you that, look, after making this move to Libya, Kwesi Sibo can kiss goodbye to playing for the Black Stars.
You don't think that? So what? So you are saying so by what virtue of the league he's playing?
The league is playing in. How often would see him play? How much of the game he would influence that would be in our eyes, would be in our faces? And that was what we saw when he was playing in Spain.
Yeah.
And that was why the advocacy for Kwesi Sibo joining the team was loud.
Because of visibility, we could all see. But don't you think that whoever the national team coach is, they'll find a way of watching him?
If he's possibly watching Oscar Nase and Co, busy watching the likes of Antoine Semen, possibly looking at the MLS and looking at Ezekiel Alado and Co, Wuleji and Co, watching Joseph Pencil and the likes, spreading to Saudi to check out what Partey is doing. Go to Spain to see what the likes of Mumin would be up to.
Yeah.
I don't know when you pay attention to players playing in Africa. And not to say players playing in Africa are not good.
Yeah.
We have some good players in there.
Yeah.
But if you pay attention to the Black Stars collapse,
Yes.
in the last 5 to 6 years, apart from, well, let me extend the last 10 years. Apart from Richard Ofori, a goalkeeper who was playing in South Africa, not too many players playing on the continent have gotten a call-up.
Well, I mean, that is true.
Regardless of the form we saw them in here, before they moved away to play at Simba, possibly play in Tanzania, play in Egypt, play in Morocco, or play in Libya, regardless of their form and their quality, we never really gave them a look in when it came to the Black Stars.
Yeah.
I don't know how different that's going to be with Kwesi Sibo. And that's what I'm saying. He doesn't have enough credits in the Black Stars account for us to say, regardless of what happens, where he plays, he must be caught. So Thomas Partey has moved to Al-Shabaab. Nobody would say Thomas Partey shouldn't get a call up into the Black Stars. He has so much credit in his Black Stars credits, in his Black Stars bank account.
Yes.
You understand? So that's what I'm saying. Sibo doesn't have that luxury. So that Libyan move will do a lot of good to his pocket.
But not for his national team.
Not for his national team career. And that is where I worry for him.
That's an interesting point. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Michael Asaibradu is on my screen. I can see him there. Michael, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Nathan. I'm good. How about you?
Yes, we are fine. We are fine. Thank you so much for joining us. We are discussing Kwesi Sibo's move to Libya. It's been confirmed by Al-Swehly Football Club. They did a very interesting unveiling video, about 1.5 minutes, saying that the Black Star has landed, all of that. They seem quite pumped about the move. Raymond seems to believe that such a move puts Kwesi Sibo's Black Stars career in a bit of a difficult place, because the history is that players on the continent don't often get call-ups. And now he has made this move. He's gone to Libya. Plus the fact that he doesn't have a lot in his Black Stars account in terms of credit. Where do you stand on this move, Michael? I mean, the money makes sense, but the bigger implication as to Kwesi Sibo's career with the Black Stars.
Well, I think Kwesi Sibo and his team would definitely process all these developments before agreeing to move to Libya. And again, they are forced to move there just to secure the bag, because from conversations I've had behind the scenes, yes, there were offers for him, but they weren't as financially juicy as this is. There was one French club that wanted to sign him. The money they were quoting was around 750,000 euros per season in terms of a salary. Al-Ahly of Egypt, I also made an approach to get him on board. That did not materialize because they could not match up to the offer from the Libyan club. Then there was a club in Turkey that made a move for him. and then the monetary benefits that were in for the player was not substantial enough. And it's the same club that actually signed Elisha Owusu. It was when Kwesi Sibo had objected or rejected their proposal that they made the move for Elisha Owusu. So yes, he received offers, but I think again, they will probably analyze his career and look at the stage where he is, and then look at the best way forward. Where does he want to get in this? I think at this stage of his career, at the age of 28, having played in England, having played in Spain, the next objective will be to secure him financially, because he's getting closer to winding down his career. And anybody who has observed him would just tell you that the last season wasn't really a very good one for him. Yes, he got a call up into the Black Stars, but the buzz around him, the enthusiasm around Kwesi Sibo and people who were clamoring for his inclusion into the national team even came to the conclusion that he wasn't good enough, judging by his performances at the World Cup. At club level, yes, for Real Oviedo, he was a critical component of their team, played a big part in their qualification to the Spanish Primera Liga. But in the La Liga, he started the season, and then as the season wore on, he was mostly on the periphery. He wasn't really a mainstay in their starting lineup. So I think if the player does a self-assessment, those in his camp also do an assessment of how the season went, then they will see the writings on the wall that maybe he's getting closer to the end of his career. And at this stage, decisions regarding where the player moves, especially when he's a free agent, will definitely be about securing the bag. So I think that primarily he's made this move just to secure his financial future and will not really care much about what happens as to his national team future. After all, he's played at the World Cup, and that is basically every player's dream, and players' ambitions differ. If Kwesi Sibo has been able to represent his country at the World Cup, it is the highest stage he can ever dream of as a pro. And so if he does not get a call-up, I think if there is any consideration to be made regarding committing to the national cause and securing his bag or securing his future at the age of 28, I think I would consider securing the money, because I've already played at the World Cup and one more can come at this point in time. So that is it. And the monetary details involved is very good, juicy as well. Again, there are concerns about Libya, and they are notorious for reneging on contractual obligations, eventually leading to long cases of arbitration, and then players seeking their money from them. Some of these clubs, some even having transfer bans imposed on them. Again, from the person I spoke to from Kwesi Sibo's camp, this was something that came up during the negotiations, and then there were assurances that were given. So it has been captured as part of his contract that if there is any indication that the club unjustly tries to abrogate the contract or terminate his contract without any just cause, then the player is guaranteed like 2 years of his contract due, which equates to around $5 million. Initially, Kwesi Sibo's camp demanded that $5 million be paid, and the counter proposal from the employer was that you have not even played. So if we pay that money, and let's say there is an injury, would you refund us? And that is not actually allowed according to the Libyan Football Federation regulations. So there is an assurance, a guarantee has been given, which has been entered into contract, that if the club are going to abrogate their contractual obligations, then there is a certain element in there that they would have to pay Kwesi Sibo for that. And then even before he signs up, and then even before he plays, 1 year of his deal has been committed already. So I think, yes, we are looking at worst case scenario. Even if he's to pay agent fees, pay other commissions and all that, Kwesi Sibo walks out of this deal $5 million rich. And that is huge for a player who was not even getting up to $700,000 a year in Europe. So it is huge that in the space of 2 years, all other things being equal, it could be $5 million richer. And that is very positive. And there are guarantees that have been made. There are contractual stipulations that ensure that there is protection for the player and his interests. And so I think it is a good move for him. But from the pure footballing sense, like I posted on Facebook some 2 days ago, there is a massive downgrade. You don't play in the La Liga, you don't play at the World Cup, and in less than 2 seasons, you downgrade to the Libyan League. But on the other side, the argument is also fair to say that he's thinking about his future. And at the age of 28, if it is more about securing your future from the financial point of view. So that makes sense.
Okay. All right. So on the money side, yeah, but it looks like, so you share similar concerns in relation to his Black Stars future, that, you know, this could have an impact on whether he gets to play more often for the national team. I was asking Ray something, and I'll ask you the same thing. This very interesting trend of not giving players who play in Africa the call-up. So assuming Salim Adams has a swell time with Al Hilal, right? Do you think that he should be giving consideration maybe ahead of Kwesi Sibo, assuming the two of them have very good seasons? Okay, do you think the selectors would have a decision to make between the two and say, let's pick one over the other, or the fact that they are playing in Africa is a quote-unquote death sentence on their Black Stars careers?
I think in theory, what the handlers of the national team have often intimated relates to the fact that it doesn't matter where you play. If you are good enough, then you'll be considered for selection into the Black Stars. But in reality, it has not been the case. We've had players who we think are doing very well on the African terrain, and they are mostly not considered. I think that where a player plays has had an effect, especially in Africa, because for the Asian region, for the less fancied European countries, we've had call-ups from such regions where players have to play. From the Asian region, Christopher Babonsu was part of the Black Stars squad for the World Cup. He plays in Saudi Arabia. You get the point. But when it is about Africa, I don't know whether deliberately or otherwise, we turn a blind eye towards players who are here in Africa, even when they are doing well. And I think I've always advocated for this, that we need to widen our scouting network in terms of players that we scout into the senior national football team. It doesn't matter where you play. Raymond made a fine example regarding Richard Ofori. Let me add to it. Harrison Affo was playing for Esperance de Tunis, and he was still dazzling for the Black Stars until the time he went to the US. Even in US for Columbus Crew, he was still playing for the national team. So I don't believe in where a player plays actually should dent his hopes or it should dent his chances of playing for the senior national football team. What actually should be considered is the quality that player brings to bear. If we were talking about the Spanish national team, again, Aymeric Laporte had played in the Saudi League for Al-Nassr before he joined Athletic Bilbao. He was part of the Spanish national side. There were players in the Portuguese national team who were playing in Saudi Arabia. I think it should be about your contribution. It should be about what you give to your national team. And that is what we've not mostly done. So yes, if Kwesi Sibo does well, if he improves, I think he should be considered. The same applies to Salim Adams. The same applies to Kamaradine Mamadou and every other single Ghanaian player who plays for an African side. The moment they do well, the moment they impress, then we should have a look at them. It is the same case for players who play in the local league. I think we should be doing that, because I don't get it when you call a player who plays in the French Ligue 1 and is not quality enough and everybody can see. I don't want to mention names and it will look like I am just pushing out certain players so that the public will have to attack them. But the point I want to make is that we have seen those who play in Europe and they are not outrageously quality. They don't give you that outstanding performances when they play for the national team. They don't give you that wow performances. They are just ordinary performances we see from them. So I believe that it doesn't matter where you play. If Kwesi Sibo does well, we should consider him. If Salim Adams does well, we should consider him. I believe strongly that owing to his performances last season for Midiama, someone like Salim Adams should have been considered for the World Cup. The coaches thought otherwise. But again, let me end by saying this. Where a player plays should not determine his fate in terms of national team selection. It should be about his impact, the quality he brings to bear, his performances. Would they make a positive impact on the national team? That should be the question we ask. So our leaders will help us, the handlers of a national team. It should not just be about the words they say. It should be about the actions they take, and those who actually mean something. When they say a player where a player plays does not matter, do they actually stick to it? Do they go by that script? It is what actually matters to me.
Quite interesting thoughts there. Time check is 8:27. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send us a WhatsApp message 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Talking about transfers, Michael, yesterday you promised giving us something on Asante Kotoko. We'll come to that. So just tie up the notes for us in a bit. I'm told we'll get to the line in a second. What?
The technology.
Michael, your very good friend Raymond Hamado is here. He's drinking coffee in a cup, and the cup is outsmarting him.
Michael, these days he doesn't drink attire in the morning.
He doesn't drink attire in the morning. Anyway, all right. Let me get to the line.
Okay. Oh, yes.
No, it's not attire. It's tea.
Oh, no.
I can tell the tea bag. The tea bag is hanging by the cup.
These days, that's how we package attire.
Attire is in a tea bag.
Oh, this is a special one.
Let me go to the line. Christopher Nimley is joining us. He's a pundit and coach and analyst. Chris, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, my brother. I'm doing very well.
Yes,
sir. Tell Raymond that whether it is tea or attire, he should always make sure he refers to Michael. Michael is the originators of such drinks, so that he will give him the correct one.
Chris, thank you for joining us. I'm told you want to share a comment or two on Kwesi Sibo's move.
Yeah. Look, Nathan, again, let's call a spade a spade. For me, everybody knows my stand on the player, but this move is basically not a footballing move. Because if you ask Kwesi Sibo himself, that if you look at what he did in Spain, what he believes he did at the World Cup, you remember? I mean, he granted an interview, not at your end, but at another platform where he clearly spoke highly of himself and his performances at the World Cup. And for me, if you believe that you did that well at the World Cup, Libya is not the sort of place that you want to go and play a football. Because for me, look, the Libyan league I maintain is better than the local league here in Ghana. So if that was the options, then I would ask him to go to Libya. But at the end of the day, the quality of the player is what is speaking for himself. Kwesi Sibo has a physical presence, but football goes beyond that. A footballer is always judged based on what he does with the ball and his reading of the game, his awareness of the game, and his contribution, his all-round contribution with the ball and off the ball. From what I saw, or from what I have seen so far of the player, am I shocked that after the World Cup, he's a free agent, he's going to Libya? No, I am not. Onumishi, I am not. Because his technical ability, in my view, is very, very limited. And because of that, if a top European teams is going to invest in the player, they will look at what the player brings on board. These are the basics of football. If a player who wants to play at the highest level is not showcasing the very fundamental technical ability, then he's always going to find himself in the situation in which he finds himself. We've seen Callum Yirinchio, from what he did at club level at the World Cup, where is he now? He's in the EPL, right?
Yep.
Look at Sibo's other midfield partner. Where is he? At the Black Stars level.
Elisha Usu. He's gone to Turkey.
Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
Team Koni Pakwamiba. I'm aware about. Going forward, the Black Stars of Ghana, if we want to compete, these are not the players we should be calling into the national team. Look, we are going to find ourselves, we are already in a very tricky situation without a substantial as head coach. In September, everybody have gone quiet on the matter, and Keto Kreku and his people are doing what they like. But when you are sitting on the bomb waiting to explode, you just need just a tickle, a tick on that bomb, and it will explode. We are sitting on a serious time bomb because we have a game to play. We have a game to play against Gambia. These are difficult games, Nathan Kwao. Very difficult games. The Black Stars midfield was substandard at the World Cup. The Black Stars midfield is, apart from Thomas Partey, who we all saw vast difference in class from the rest. We couldn't benefit from the rest. So the point I'm making is that nobody should be surprised where the young man has ended up, because his footballing quality is what has spoken for him. When I told people that Sibo Elebotra, Elijah Elebotra, I was not picking on them. I went through hell. Am I happy he's going to Libya? No, I'm not. But at the same time, if you look at his technical ability, what he's got to offer, I'm not surprised that is where he's gone. After playing at the Mundial, come on, man. Even Lucas put in a contract. Lucas in a contract. True or false? He's left Cyprus. Ali, he's gone to, is it Croatia or something like that? So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Padie, he's got a physical presence that I would give to him. Physically, he's got the presence. But when he wins the ball, he's extremely limited, together with Elisha Wusu. If you are the next Black Stars coach, clearly, these two boys cannot be the future of our midfield. I would rather prefer Salim alongside Thomas Partey than Elisha Wusu or Sibo alongside Thomas Partey. So, Charlie, it is what it is. But, I mean, he's been encouraged that wherever he finds himself, he should give it his all. I listened to Michael, and I agree with Michael when he says that for the cash, that is why he's gone to Libya. And at the end of the day, we can just pray for him and hope that he goes there, because the way these Libyans have behaved in time past with some of our players, you hope he goes there and he doesn't go through something like that. The clauses in that contract will have to be signed in such a way that the moment they start behaving funny, he will be in a position to take them to the proper bodies in football that would deal with such matters. We wish him the very best, but it is what it is, my brother.
All right. So finally, Chris, I'm just curious. You know, we usually do not give national team call-ups or places to people who play on the continent. Richard Ofori is an exception. Harrison Affo, when he played at Esperance, is an exception. With some of our players beginning to play on the continent, you've mentioned Salim, Kwesi Sibo, and a few others. Now that Kwesi Sibo has gone to Libya, Salim's gone to Al-Hilal, Sudanese club that plays in Rwanda. Should we start to think about giving more and more opportunities to Ghanaians who play on the African continent? Are they playing at levels that are good enough to earn them a place in the Black Stars?
You see, Nathan, you and I, we've had this discussion several times, and I've always said that the Black Stars has a standard. It is not about where the player is playing. A player can be playing in Spain, but it doesn't mean he's good. Sibo was recently playing in Spain, and you know my stand on the issue.
Yeah.
Elisha Wusu was playing in France. You know my stand on the issue. So for me, I don't care where the player plays his football. What I truly care about is that has the player got the requirement, the demands, the quality to play for the Black Stars? Because look at a player like Anthony Anang. I think he played in Germany for a few years with Schalke 04, and that was it. Agreed?
Yeah.
When Anthony Anang was bossing the Black Stars midfield, he played for Accra Hearts of Oak. Agreed? So at the end of the when Asamoah got his first call-up into the Black Stars in 2008, I think at the time he was staying with Liberty Professionals.
Yes, he was around. He had
agreed. We've seen the likes of William Thierry, the likes of Sheila Ilasu and co. So it doesn't matter to me where the player plays his football, but has he the quality required to compete at that level? I've never seen Lasheuzo as a player with top quality. I've never seen Sibo as the player having the quality to play at the Black Stars level. I've not. So whether the player is playing in Azerbaijan or in Sudan or wherever, or Somalia, wherever, if he's got the quality, you bring him into the team. It is, you see, the reason why we are talking about such things is as a result of the dishonesty in the selection of players into the national team. We've never been honest with that. Because if we've been honest with that, nobody will look at Salim and drop him and take Elisha Usu or Sibo ahead of him into the World Cup. Nobody would have done that. Salim at the time was playing for Midyama. But you can clearly see, again, because we've been so dishonest in our selection, nobody would have seen a player like Nathaniel Ajay and drop him and take the likes of Lucasin and go to the World Cup. When some of us speak on these matters, they think we are being overly passionate about our view. But it's about the Ghanaianness in us that will not allow us to accept certain mediocre decisions that are taken by the handlers of our football. Agreed? A clear dishonesty again was when Ajete was dropped at the World Cup for no footballing reason. Why did we do that? Our best defender got dropped when we needed him the most. He wasn't injured. Who were those who connived to take that decision against the forward movement of the country? So Nathan, it doesn't matter where he plays.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where he plays. When Felix Abuaji made the Black Stars, where was he playing?
He was playing in Egypt, I believe it was.
He was
Zamalek.
playing in Egypt.
Yeah, Zamalek.
Yes. Then I believe, look at Felix Abuaji, the players he had to compete with in that striking department. But he was playing in Egypt at the time, but he had the quality to play for the Black Stars. Then I believe selection into our team was done based on merit. Based on merit. Of course, I'm one of those who believe that if I've got a player who is very good and meets up to the quality and he's playing in the French league, the Spanish league, the EPL, the Italian Serie A, the German Bundesliga, these will be my first options. These will be my first option. If they are up to the standard and they are playing in the top 5, top 6 European leagues, they will be the one I will call into the team. So if you are playing in Africa, then you need to match up to the qualities of these guys in the top league. That is a different situation altogether. But in the situation where we've been so dishonest in selecting our players, it doesn't matter to me where the player plays. After all, right now, Thomas Partey is playing where? In Saudi. Yeah. When Asamoah went to Saudi, when we took Asamoah to the World Cup in 2014, where was he playing?
He was playing in the UAE. In
the UAE. But the quality of the man was never in doubt. And anytime he got the opportunity to showcase that, he was topmost. Hasn't the Ayew played in the golf before?
Yes, he has.
He played in the golf. But his quality playing for the Black Stars at the time was not in doubt. So it doesn't matter where the players. If you are a technical handler, if you are a head coach of the team, just be sincere and honest with your player selection. Don't allow Ketu Kreku and his people to influence player selection into the team like they've done from day one up to today. When you talk, they say they'll take you to court. The man too is on record to have said that thing boldly on national television. He's never gone back to retract that statement. All right? We just listened to Otuado. Otuado just spoke some few months ago. He said he was always fighting with the man based on player selection. Didn't hear that. We heard it. We heard Sika Kono. That anytime he took the team, I call pen, I floor players, say me. We've not seen the need to ask the man to stop that. So he's very influential. So why would Elisha Wuzu Megeriba Atabla when there's Salim, when there are better midfielders in the team? With the boy who plays in Italy, that boy who was dropped, what's the name? The one who played for Atlanta, then he played for Bologna. What's the name? Don't drop.
Ibrahim Suleimana.
Don't drop for Elisha Wuzu and co. Clearly, you can see that on technical ability alone, on demand required, standard required to compete at that level, the boy was far better. Salim is far better. But we didn't take them. So that is dishonesty. So it doesn't matter where he plays.
Okay.
He can play in Ghana if he's that. Richard Ofori, House of Folk goalkeeper in the morning.
Benasari.
Benasari. Where does he play?
He's here. At least for now, he's here.
Did we not see him at the World Cup?
We did.
Did he not show everybody that he was up to the standard required?
Yeah.
He did. So it doesn't matter where the player plays. Our only humble appeal is for those in charge of our team to be honest, sincere, and very straightforward. They should allow the Ghanaianness in them, the Ghanaian blood that flows through them, to think Ghana. And when you think Ghana, you always select the best players for Ghana. So that is my stand on the matter.
Okay. All right, Chris. Thank you so much for your thoughts.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm sure we'll speak again soon. Have a wonderful day. Coach Christopher Nimley joining us with his thoughts on the Kwesi Sibo move. You can also send in your comments, 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. You can send us a WhatsApp message. I'd gladly love to hear from you. Time check is 8:44. All right, let me go back to Michael Asai-Bredu, and then we can, proceed from there. Ray, you wanted us to touch on the U23s.
Yes.
Okay, we'll touch on the U23s.
Just to take you back a bit. When coach was speaking about players having quality and getting call-ups into the national team, I think that you remember Joe Tex Frimpong.
I remember Joe Tex Frimpong.
How did he get into the Black Stars team?
Because of his performances for Enyimba at the time.
We could see. We could tell that he was a good player. The numbers were there.
Yeah.
We brought him in. You understand? So if you are doing well on the continent and we get to see your performances, there's no way the selector's eye would miss your performances. I mean, it's almost like you can't miss a white horse. So I mean, you do it. But the Black Stars, as it is now, Black Stars that is looking to bring in players like
players like
Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Is that conversation still on?
Yes.
Callum Hudson-Odoi.
No, you think we've given up on that move?
Is this still on?
Bringing in players like Nketiah. We are looking at Odro, the Dutch goalkeeper, and all, to come and assist Atizigi. Look, the quality players, conversations are ongoing to lure the young man at Champon to consider playing for Ghana. You see, with all of these players coming in, there will not be positions for players who are not top notch. You see, the Black Stars has become a team full of average players these days. Yeah. When I say average players, you know what I mean. That is why a country that has once upon a time gone to the World Cup with Antoniana, with Sule Mutai, with Michael Essien, with Derek Boateng, will now go to a World Cup with Kwesi Sibo and Elisha Owusu. You see how we've watered down the standard. No, I mean, if I'm telling lies, tell me I'm telling lies. You see how we've watered down the Black Stars medal. So if we want the Black Stars to get back to that level, we are going for top of the range. Players that we've not paid attention to in the past. These are players we are going to look at. Bring them in to come and play proper football for the Black Stars. Just look at Black Stars that had Asamoah Gyan as the lead striker. Today. Give us strikers. I'm going to bring us that Victoria Pilsen boy. What's his name? The boy plays.
Prince Kwabena.
Look at that.
Prince Kwabena Edu.
You see, this is how low we are falling. The only place where we've maintained the standards: goalkeeping, Ziggy in post, Asari in support, in defense, Chiku, Salisu, Jerome Opoku, Ajete, my good friend, the one who plays for Lorient, Nathaniel Eje. Those are the players we are looking to bring back. Some of these players we are bringing. I know Nathaniel Eje was under 20 captain. Was captain of under 20. You understand? When he's fit and playing, it's unstoppable. You see, all of these boys would have to bring them back. Bring quality to the Black Stars. I see Tariq Lamptey is fit again. Good addition on the flanks.
You have Michael laughing.
No, you understand? So, look, this Senaya is there. You see, Senaya was one player we went to borrow from Togo.
Why are we giving him back?
Oh, want to borrow him from Togo. And he's become a mainstay. You understand? These are the players. My brother, do you know the World Cup we went to? If you are talking about the team that had the weakest midfield in the competition, it's the Black Stars. The weakest midfield. What's the Black Stars? Apart from Caleb Drigi and Pate, who else? Oh, Nathan, show me. Maybe we saw some players.
No, but that was the midfield we took.
Thank you. So we cannot revisit the Kwesi Sibo Elisha Owusu partnership again. So if you are playing in Libya and we say, hey, we are not calling you, nobody should talk. Now we are looking for the next Asia, the next Muntari, the next Andre. Tell Nathan, players have played for Black Stars. Look at Mupao.
He's done his bit.
Oh, come on. You see, and these are the things we are saying.
So we have to keep the standards.
Oh, Charlie. So you, what Andrea are you? No, what Andrea are you playing for Black Stars?
I mean, look,
his 120 games he played.
He was top.
Oh, Charlie.
He was top.
So that's why I'm saying that if we have dropped the standard, so for certain players to not join.
Okay, so what is it? Is it a quality problem or it's a decision problem?
It has a quality problem. It's a quality problem.
Okay.
It's a quality problem. And me, I've always argued that apart from coaching, apart from Otuado's ineptitude, Otuado's coaching problems, the other bit of the Black Stars problem is player quality. The other bit is player quality. So once we are able to address all of these things, I think that we'll have a super team. That's why that's why some of us are sad that we are struggling to agree to Carlos Queiroz terms and conditions. Look, according to what I know, what I've heard, Carlos Queiroz wants total control of the Black Stars bench. Later, when I say total control, you know what total control means? He doesn't want to see any Azan assistant on his bench.
And who's the
I'm saying that he doesn't want any assistant that is not top notch on his bench. He doesn't want any video analyst, he doesn't know. He doesn't want any goalkeepers coach, he doesn't know. He doesn't want any kidsman, he doesn't know. He doesn't want any team manager, he doesn't know. He wants total control of the backroom staff.
Okay.
Just like the way our good friend Antonio Conte. If you employ Antonio Conte, you know you are employing a whole package. You know how Conte moves.
Yeah.
And he'll do the job. That is how Carlos Queiroz wants to move. And of course, you know, our people will have challenges with the numbers. You understand? That's why some of us are disappointed that Carlos Queiroz is not getting what he wants. And so he's struggling to agree to a new deal. But Nathan, if we give Carlos Queiroz what he wants, that's expanded, extended, improved backroom staff that he would control.
Yeah.
Nathan, the Black Stars will be one of the unplayable teams on the continent. It will be very difficult to play the Black Stars and beat them. Apparently, you saw what happened in the US. If able times you go, that's the ball. No, that's the game. No, so imagine Carlos getting Kudus back in the team, getting Semenyo in a certain position that he will be very comfortable. Give Thomas Partey good support.
Bring back Kwesi Sibo.
Oh, my brother. Oh, here. We are going forward. You see, if there's a player you are bringing back, and only one player, that's only one. Mopao. It's only Andre you are bringing back. If there's a player you are bringing back.
If there's a player you are bringing back, I see.
No, you understand? No, so I strongly believe that this is not the level of the Black Stars at all.
Of course, I mean, the Black Stars.
There's more with proper coaching.
That's true.
That's what I mean. When you people say you want to bring the Desmond Offer, okay, you can bring him. But just like Hugo Bruce is telling the South Africans, you'll be going back if you bring coaches like that. And Michael agrees with me. Michael knows what I'm saying.
That we should bring.
If you bring coaches like Desmond Offer to come and manage the Black Stars by this time, you're only taking the team backwards. If you can convince Carlos Queiroz to drop some of the numbers, in terms of the financial numbers, not the personnel numbers, because we need those people, and then manage a few things well. Oh, come on, Nathan. We have a coach. Takes us to AFCON, semi-finals, finals. Anything can happen in the finals.
All right. Time check is 8:54. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. Michael, I don't know if you have any thoughts, closing out thoughts on this part before we get to the Asante Kotoko business.
No.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah. 054257. Michael says he's okay. He says he doesn't have anything to add, meaning that he largely agrees.
Michael knows that the Desmond Offer cannot help us.
Desmond Offer won't help us. Michael, let's get into the Asante Kotoko business. You promised that you would give us the lowdown. So now that the window is closed, the team has conducted its business. What exactly were Kotoko up to in the transfer market? How many players did they bring in? Which positions have they filled in? And what are the reactions to the signings they have made?
Okay, so Nathan, Kotoko had 21 different movements involving transfers during this window. And of the 21, 10 of them had to do with players leaving the club. And then 11 had to be players arriving at the club. And so 21 movements overall. And the question you definitely ask yourself is that as the club merely change players like we see almost every season, or this time around, looking at the approach towards the market and then the personnel in charge in terms of Mr. Menzo, who is acting like a sporting director, and Eric Tinkler, who is acting as the head coach, have they changed the profile and behavior of the team? What did they actually pick up from the previous management? What did they study? What did they observe? Also during the period of observation with some of the old players before they decided to part company with 10 of them. And then what was the thinking behind the 11 new players that have been added to Asante Kotoko squad? I think this is what will be very important in analyzing and understanding Kotoko's movement in the transfer market. If you are using last season as a yardstick, Midyama won the league. They won with a point tally of 62. Kotoko were 49 points. They were 13 points away from Midyama. They had 49 points, and they occupied the 5th position somewhere. So you are looking at a club that was not able to challenge for the title for a sustained period. Yes, at the start of the season, they were in there. They looked like the real deal under Karim Zito when Abotama was firing goals. Then along the line, due to some management decisions and also some decisions owing to player discipline and then coaching, the club fell off in terms of the title chase. And then at the end of the season, there were 13 points adrift of Midyama. So what are they trying to do now? Throughout last season, we picked out certain pointers that affected them. One, leadership, and then discipline. There were a whole lot of allegations against Kotoko. Player indiscipline, leading to a player like Joseph Ablo being kicked out of camp. When they went to Samaboy to play, allegations were that he had imported an alien into camp, and that was not allowed. Again, there were other developments that revolved around the Kotoko team that pointed towards overall player indiscipline and then an apparent lack of leadership in the team. Again, the goalkeeping department of Asante Kotoko, there was something around indecisions, Kamara and his own issues. Yes, he was a good goalkeeper. At a point in time, Aziz Dari also had to be in the goalpost, and then they shared the minutes. Then, in terms of attack, they did not really have variety. Kwame Poku, he flattered to deceive. Isaac Minta was not mostly available. Albertamo had to leave and come back, and Kotoko still hadn't addressed the attacking problem. So, what I want to make of their approach in this transfer market is that they are looking to bring players who bring leadership. And interestingly, they've added 2 former Kotoko captains to the squad, Ibrahim Danlad and then Richard Buedu. Now they come with familiarity.
Okay.
They understand the Asante Kotoko environment. They know it. They know the politics within the Asante Kotoko fraternity. And then the leadership. They both captained Kotoko at the point in time before they exited. Richard Bodu was the captain during the time of Prosper Nateogum, during the time of Nanaya Amponsa. And then Ibrahim Danlad has also served in the captaincy role during his time at the club. And then again, they've added defenders to their fold. I'll mention the names throughout. Then they have brought some midfield competition to refresh the pack. And then in terms of attack, they've added more numbers to the Asante Kotoko attack. And there are players who have 1 Premier League experience. For instance, Emmanuel Mama from Samates, he has Premier League experience. And Prince Opoku Ajiman, former player of Gold Stars Midyama, he has also joined Asante Kotoko as part of their recruitments during this period. So these are the 11 players they brought on board. Ibrahim Dalad, goalkeeper, his last club was Ethiopian Coffee, and he returns in the capacity as a full player. They've signed him for 2 years. Then what will actually be his role is that he is to improve the goalkeeping department by offering competition to the already existing goalkeepers, and then is also to bring leadership. Kotoko did not just sign 1 goalkeeper. So what it means is that they allow 2 goalkeepers to leave, Inchum and then also Kamara. So they've added 2 more goalkeepers. And the other goalkeeper is Abdelwadi Murad, who has come from Morocco. He signed officially. He's a young goalkeeper, and he offers depth and competition as well. And there is a long-term upside involved in this. Also enhances the international portfolio of Asante Kotoko, that they've added foreign-based players to their squad. In fact, of a transfer business Asante Kotoko did, 54.5% of them were foreign-based players, which is 6, and only 5 of them were Ghanaian-based players. So that is the interesting mix regarding Kotoko's transfers. And then the outfield players, Umar Ali, who is a left back and also can play as a left center back, has joined Kotoko on a 2-year deal. Yesterday, they officially announced it, and he comes after playing in a foreign football environment. He was playing in the UAE, and he's expected to bring some left side flexibility and also availability. They signed him as a left center back, can also play as a left back, and he offers competition to Patrick Kesiedu and also the other players who occupy that role. And he's seen as the player who will replace Francis Akwa, who has been put on the fringes because he failed to make the cut after joining from Bichim. Then Kofi Marius, Ange Banner, he also joins from, he's a foreign player, and he has signed for the club. He's a central defender.
Okay.
Then there is Tamuzi Intangu Aristote. He is from DR Congo, but he also has played in Eswatini as well, and he's joining Asante Kotoko as a center back. Richard Boadu, central midfielder, defensive midfielder. The last environment he played in was in Libya. He's joined Asante Kotoko. Then Abdul Kader Tanaga, he's also a defensive midfielder from Burkina Faso. That was the last environment he played in. And then Solomon Enzo Asa, he is an attacking midfielder and a forward. And his last playing environment was in Cameroon. And he's expected to bring creativity between the lines and also offer the options in the attacking areas. Eric Bekta is a winger. His last playing environment was in Oman, and he is expected to bring pace and dribbling, and he's seen as a direct replacement for someone like Saka Dauda. And then Emmanuel Mama is a center forward from Samates, and he is a GPL proven attacking option. And then also Isaac Opoku-Agyemang, he also last played in, I think, somewhere in the Asian region, and he's joined them as an attacker or a center forward option. So these are the signings Asante Kotoko have made. And then the players who have been removed from the squad: Kwame Poku, center forward, contract terminated. Elvis Cheba for contract terminated, he was a forward. Benjamin Chum, goalkeeper, contract terminated. Francis Akwa, contract terminated. Prince Bedu, mutual termination between the player and the club. Isaac Minta, mutual termination, is actually joined Ashanti Gold.
Okay.
Then there is Zakaria Fuseini, centre back, permanent move to Brekum Chelsea, back to the club. He joined Asante Kotoko from. And then Sambo O'Neill, he ran out his contract. And then Albert Amwa, his loan deal expired, and the club did not decide to activate it automatically. They wanted him to come justify. The player said he was above justification, and so he's moved on. And then Bernard Somwa, finally they've transferred him to Celta Fortuna. So these are the exits at Asante Kotoko, and as regards what has happened. So in terms of players that Kotoko actually permanently transferred, it is just two: Zakaria Fuseini and Bernard Somwa. The rest were mutually terminated, or they went with their contract outrightly terminated by the club. So it means in terms of transfer fees, Kotoko did not make much money from these players. Only two of these players will likely bring in something in transfer revenue. That is the update around it. Now, what positions are we looking at? Kotoko lost one goalkeeper. They lost two goalkeepers. They've added two: Kamara and then also Benjamin Chum. And they've added two as well. So in terms of the goalkeepers, the turnover is even. Defenders, they lost three. They've added three. Midfield, it looks like they only cancelled out Prince Bedu, but they've added three new midfielders, which beefs up that department. And then in terms of attack, 5 attackers were booted out, 3 attackers have come in. So these are the likely indications regarding the squad turnover in terms of a transfer business as Asante Kotoko did. And that is something positive that you can look at. Now again, to the production that has been lost, I think for all the players that left Asante Kotoko, the one who played the most minutes, and you can actually say was mostly available, will be Sambo O'Neill. Samba played 2,661 minutes. And so his availability needs to be catered for. The other centre-backs who are available now, in terms of those who are remaining from last season and the new players, Kotoko will need one central defender who offers consistent minutes and availability. And that is something that they will need to address in terms of the signings they've made. Albert Amwa comes in second. He amassed 1,118 minutes. Zakaria Fuseini, 1,008 minutes. And it follows in that order. So of the players who have been allowed to leave, you can actually say that the ones who clocked 1,000 and more minutes were just 3. Zakaria Fuseini, Albert Amwa, and then Sambo O'Neill. The exception will be Prince Bedu. He joined after the first round, and he only played he played 959 minutes. So you can say Prince Bedu also played for consistent minutes since he joined Asante Kotoko. He's also been left out, but for the rest, they were mostly not available due to injury concerns and all that. So you can't say Kotoko outrightly moved out players who were playing. Only 4 of them of the 11 that went out. So you can say that of the players that are out of Kotoko, most of them were on the fringes, like Isaac Minta, Elvis Chebafo. So it is a massive clear out to beef up the team with players who can be available. If you look into that with this thinking. And then the production of those arriving and what they can do, you are looking at the goal tally. For instance, Mama scored 7 goals, and it was more than any other player in the Asante Kotoko team last season. Emmanuel Mama produced 7 goals. So Albertama was 5 goals in the league, Kwame Poku 5, Sambo O'Neill 5. So if you use this to assess, then it means that the data available, just using last season as a yardstick, then Kotoko have added a player who is an improvement on the output generated by the other Kotoko players. Prince Opoku Ajiman, where he was playing, yielded 9 goals. And that was also more than any other Asante Kotoko player. So by sheer numbers or by the raw data, Kotoko have added 2 players who scored more goals than the existing Kotoko attackers who have been allowed to leave the club.
Okay.
That is positive. But then again, you are looking at suitability and then adaptability, because Mama scored those goals for Samates. And we have seen this happen many times where players do very well at their previous clubs. They are brought to either Kotoko or Haas, and they fail to deliver the same output. So yes, he scored 7 for Samates. You cannot really bank on that and conclude that then definitely he will score similar numbers or even score more for Asante Kotoko. You are only clinging on to hope. But again, the other hypothesis is that Albert Amwa did not produce enough goals when he was at Olympics. But at Asante Kotoko, he settled into the environment, and then he became known as a player who generated or scored goals for them. And as at the time that he was leaving, if you are looking at cumulative Premier League goals during the time Albert Amwa joined, no single Asante Kotoko player scored more goals than he did. And it was double figures. So it means then Kotoko is able to create an enabling environment where players can settle in. And if the players settle and then they are committed, then they can deliver the goals, and then it will help the cause of the club. So that is another angle to look at in terms of the numbers that the attackers will likely produce. Now, Eric Tinkler has not really played competitive matches so that we can look at his style and how these players fit in. But we can also assess how the players will fit in, judging by what Eric Tinkler has said regarding his playing style, regarding some of the matches Kotoko have played, and also regarding some of the signings. So we can use that to judge how these signings fit into the Tinkler philosophy or ideology. So what Tinkler has said is that publicly, his team is not really a possessive-based team, but they love to have possession. But he believes that when they have possession, there must be penetration. So he's talking about how they are able to efficiently use the ball, not just possess the ball and be playing around, playing passes that don't really impact his team in terms of what they want to do. So then it gives us the indication that at Kotoko, Tinkler will allow his team to possess the ball, but he will want them to be very efficient with the ball as well. Again, he's indicated that he doesn't have a one-style-fits-all approach. He mostly decides to also study the opponent and at times make adjustment to his game plan. And that gives him out as a pragmatist, someone who is very practical in his approach. So how does he go about it? One, he wants his team to always challenge each other so that it brings improvement. So he's very particular about his training. And from the few training sessions they had in Kumasi before coming to Accra, it was very evident. The reports were that when players fail to replicate a certain move, he stressed that they repeat that scenario and then improve on it before they moved on. So he's somebody who looks for competition, and he's somebody who also looks for precision. So in the goalkeeping department, I want to believe that we don't have a sure Asante Kotoko number 1 yet. Danlad, Aziz Dari, and then Murad, they can all vie for the number 1 position. And what this means is that it brings intensity to the training grounds. It brings that. And then it gives the players that mentality that you are not going to feel complacent. You need to work hard to justify why the new coach will select you. 2, they lost some physicality in the team. One, Kwame Poku offered that physical presence up front. In the middle, they did not really have a physical presence last season. In defense, Sambo O'Neal brought that physicality. Now they address that by the signings they have made. Their central defenders, Tamuzi and then Bini, they are physically powerful players who bring that physicality to the Asante Kotoko central defense. Richard Boadu is a full force when he's fully fit. The only concern is that maybe he's not like the Boadu we knew some 4 seasons ago. But in terms of his profile, he's a powerful midfielder, combative. When he's in the middle, he's mostly engaging in the duels. And that is a presence Kotoko has missed. Aside Boadu's passing ability, his competence in terms of finding the ranges, he also has a certain physicality. And then in attack, I think the direct replacement for Kwame Poku in terms of attacking physicality will be Prince Opoku Ajiman, who is Isaac Opoku Ajiman, sorry, who is able to add that to the team and then improve the team. That is very important. Then they've also looked at control plus aggression. Boadu is there, and So Azan is there. They can look at some of these and then look. And then adaptability. Players who can occupy multiple roles. You remember when I was discussing Umar Ali? Mm-hmm. I said he can play as a left back and also play as a left centre back. Yeah. Enzo Azan can play as a winger and can also play as a forward. Opoku Ajiman can play as a second striker or can play as a centre forward. And so you look through the team and you find players with multiple profiles who will likely play to Asante Kotoko's advantage depending on how the coach will want to use them. And I think that is positive in terms of the business that they did regarding their transfers. And so that is also another thing regarding Asante Kotoko. So one, they've added competition, they've added a physical spine in defense, in midfield, and in attack. Then they've added midfield control in terms of the midfielders they added, and then attacking variety, where they have players who can play with the width, and then players who can also be mobile forwards, and then players who can offer that physical presence up front when you want to use a target man. And that is the approach they've done. And this looks more scientific than the usual Kotoko transfer approaches. And maybe that is partly owed to Menzo and then what he brought to the whole process Asante Kotoko embarked on. Because why I say this is that previously, players will come for Justify, and the recommendation will come from certain persons. Oh, this is my boy, consider him. So coaches were somehow compelled to add players to their squad, not necessarily because it was a profile they needed, but because they were just recommendations from people who were influential in the club and could actually have a say in terms of the squad building. This time around, there was a difference. The management did not influence the players that were added. It was left to the coach and then the technical director is Steve Menzo. And I think they have done this business. The only thing is that these are what we know on paper. In reality, they will still need to play, and let's look at how things will go. So what will be the expectations for 2026, 2027? I think that last season, Kotoko were 13 points behind Midiema. They had 49 points. And so if you strike the average of the 34 games they played, that would give you 1.44 points per game. And they will need to improve that to somewhere 2.5 per game or 2.2 per game to match Midiema's numbers. So the expectation for any Kotoko fan should be that they are not going to challenge for the title. Rather, is to stabilize them. They finished 8th on the table. And I've not seen a team place 8th on the table in the GPL, and then the next season they are winning the title. So they need to be very strategic about this. If it is a rebuilding process under Eric Tinkler, then the fans will need to lower the expectations. They need to water down the expectations and understand that this is a process, and then believe that whatever plans the technical team have in mind would actually translate into the results they expect on the field of play. And that includes performances and then the match outcome. The results will not just be about the match outcome, but the performances. What do they see? Does it give them hope that they should trust what the coach is doing so that they know the way forward in terms of the business that they want to do? Again, the expectation is that the Kotoko team, if they suffer from ill discipline, if they had leadership issues, then there should be a change this season So what will be the overall discipline levels of the team? I remember what Safuduku said when he spoke to Inshira FM here in Kumasi. He said they became aware that the team was suffering from player discipline at certain points of the last season.
Yeah.
And they came to the conclusion that the players did not really relate well in a disciplinary manner towards the local coaches than they would a foreign coach. So as part of their recommendations, they indicated that the way forward for the club towards curbing this player in discipline was to, 1, bring in a foreign coach, and then 2, institute or implement internal measures that will guard against players going above what they are supposed to do. And so I want to see that, 1, Eric Tinkler, after reading whatever report the management left behind, will want to implement certain things. Again, how the players relate to him so that they don't go out of bounds as regards the disciplinary measures that will be put in place. So another expectation will be the disciplinary level of Asante Kotoko this season, on and off the pitch. It will be very, very important. Again, how do they convert that point gap between themselves and then the toppers last season? How do they convert or improve outrightly? How do they add up? This will also be something that I'll be expecting from them. So if you add 11 players, I wouldn't be any hypocrite and say that then all of a sudden you expect them to gel. The same thing I said about Mediama yesterday. 11 new players means that you need to build chemistry, and this takes time. So the biggest upset will likely be there will be stronger competition. There will be you'll be looking at players who will be fighting for positions one way or the other. But the downside is that you are looking at players who would be looking to build chemistry. They'll be looking to gel together. A new coach who does not understand the terrain. Even in the case of Mediema, it was Ibrahim Tanko who has Premier League experience. In the case of Eric Tinkler, he has absolutely no Premier League experience. He has never played a competitive fixture in Ghana before. As Kotoko coach, he's not even played up to 10 games if you combine all competitions. So the point is that the coach is new, 11 new players. How do they blend and then quickly come to understand each other and then deliver on the field? So if you're a Kotoko fan, kindly lower your expectations, because I don't think a lot more will happen in terms of what Kotoko are supposed to do or what they can't do. But if I'm to rate their transfer, I think in terms of strategy, in terms of approach, this is better than we saw in last 2 seasons or last 3 seasons. So this is better. Let's see the way forward. So by the strategy alone, maybe 6.5 over 10, 7.5 over 10, I'll give it to them. But for the reality, let's see what happens in terms of when the season kicks off and how Kotoko will fare.
Okay, Asante Kotoko, busy in the market. All of it is to get ready for the upcoming Ghana Premier League season, which starts on the weekend of September 4. Michael, that's the weekend where Mediama are playing against TP Mazembe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so
their game will be postponed.
Okay, so Mediama are not starting the league on September 5. Time check is 19 minutes after 9:19. You can still send us your comments 0542571061. Okay, let me wrap it up with Michael, and then I will open the phone lines and then take the phone calls and read comments from our listeners. Michael, let's go to Europe. Let's talk some transfers, and then we can talk about some of the other topics coming in. Manchester City are in the mix. They've been very busy in the market, especially with outgoings. They've been very busy with outgoings. Okay, they've been very busy with outgoings. I'll come to that a bit. Ray,
yes, sir.
Before we go to Europe, a quick point. U23, before I forget, U23. Earlier you were giving us the story of their path to the U23 AFCON. Let's quickly go through that.
Let me give you that story quickly. So this story is sourced from the Ghana Football Association website, and the story says Black Meteors learn road to 2027 under 23 AFCON qualifiers. The Black Meteors have been handed an interesting route in the qualifying race for the Total Energies CAF under 23 Africa Cup of Nations Egypt 2027 following Tuesday's draw held in Cairo. Now, the Ghana under 23 side received a bye into the second qualifying round, and will face winner of the first round tie between Togo and Libya. So second round, Libya versus Togo would be a possible opponent. Now, should Desmond Ofe's side successfully negotiate the second round, they will advance to the final qualifying round, where they will meet the winner of the second round encounter between Sao Tome and Principe, Equatorial Guinea, or Niger. So this is it: Sao Tome and Principe, or Equatorial Guinea, or Niger. So those are the three teams we could potentially face in the next round. Now, the 3-round qualifying competition will determine the 7 teams that will join hosts Egypt at the 8-team Total Energies CAF Under-23 Nations Finals. The Black Meteors will begin their qualifying campaign with the first leg of their second round tie scheduled for November 9, 2026, before the return leg on November 17, 2026. The final qualifying round takes place between March 22 to 30, 2027. The Black Meteors have not featured at the men's Olympic football tournament since 2004 Athens Games, meaning a successful qualification for Egypt 2027 will bring the country closer to ending a 24-year wait for another Olympic appearance. So this is what it's looking like for the Meteors. Libya or Togo first, and then Sao Tome and Principe, Equatorial Guinea, or Niger next.
Okay.
So that's what it's looking like as we seek to make a bow at the 2028 Olympics in LA.
Yeah, and
now,
for the please finish.
Now the AFCON tournament will be an 8-nation tournament.
Okay.
Yes. So if Ghana is able to make it into that tournament, then we are getting a step closer to making it to the Olympics.
Okay.
So we'll see how all of that pans out in the coming weeks.
From what I'm reading here, 4 teams will represent the African continent at the Olympic Games in 2028.
So
4 teams for the men's competition.
So a semi-final berth would be or you'd need to make it.
So if you have to finish top two in the group.
Yeah.
Finish top 2 in the group. That's it. Just finish top 2 in the group and qualify for the Olympic football tournament in Los Angeles in 2028. So as Raymond read, for listeners, the Black Meteors have a journey. They are taking on the winner of the first round tie between Togo and Libya. Now, when that happens and the Meteors should qualify over 2 legs, then they take on the third team in that series. It will be one of either Sao Tome and Principe, Equatorial Guinea, or Niger. And if the Black Meteors are successful over these 2 hurdles, i.e. the one against the winner of Togo and Libya, and then the one that will come out of these 3 countries, Sao Tome and Principe, Equatorial Guinea, or Niger, and the Meteors are able to qualify or succeed over these, or succeed in these 2 games, then they make it to the Under-23 AFCON, which will be played in Egypt next year. At the Under-23 AFCON, the Meteors have one job to do: just finish top 2 and qualify for the Olympic Games. That is all. They don't even have to win the U23 AFCON. Just finish top 2 in the group, and then they've made it to LA 2028. So that's the story of the Black Meteors. Yes, Michael.
That is one reason why they should not give the Black Stars job to Desmond Ofei. This should be his sole focus.
Okay.
He's a head coach of the U23 team. If you add the Black Stars to him, it means we are collapsing the vision we have regarding this current U23 team, and then our bid to qualify for the first Olympic Games in over 20 years. I stand to be corrected, right?
Yes, Ghana hasn't made the Olympic football tournament since 2004.
So over 20 years. So why would you give him the Black Stars, which also poses another burden, another huge hurdle to clear, because the Black Stars will be playing the AFCON qualifiers, and they will be going to the next AFCON in the hope of doing better. Last time we did not qualify. So we want to go there and compete, build on the little success we chalked at the World Cup. Do you get the point? So why would you add the Black Stars to Desmond Ofei? So I even think, to an extent, if I am not exaggerating the whole situation, I think it should be kept away from the Black Star setup. Let him fully focus on the U23 team, because this is also a very important assignment. Again, this is a connection line or a part between moving from the U20 to the senior national football team. Because when we made the World Cup in 2006, whether we like it or not, those who were part of the U23 team that played at the then Olympic Games at Athens were also players who some made it to the Black Star squad for 2006 World Cup. Some of them eventually became the backbone of the squad list that we used during the qualification phase. So the U23 is also a very important avenue. So I think Desmond Ofe should be excused from the Black Stars, and he should not even be under any consideration for the national team job. Let him focus on the U23. He should grow with the team. He should use it to build himself. He should have a certain body of work that he can present in time to come. That, okay, I was given these assignments, U20, I think he did very, very well. Then U23, I was able to achieve this. So that if he's making the case to become the next Black Stars coach, maybe in the foreseeable future, he can have something to present as substance that we can refer to. So we don't go back and repeat the mistakes we did with Otuado. Otuado came literally with nothing, and then he had to grow with the team, and we didn't have that time. So we should not repeat that mistake. So I think, per what Raymond has explained, it is only befitting that Desmond Ofe is excused from the Black Stars and his full focus to switch from the Black Stars to the U23 team. And then the needed support he would need from Ghanaians, from the GFA, should be provided him so he can do a solid job for us.
Right, interesting point. And I agree with you. I agree with you on that score. Immortal, as usual, has thrown the cat amongst the pigeons. He's asking, how much do under 23 coaches earn that we want to keep Desmond Ofe?
But again, in the GFA's budget, if Immortal wants us to do finances, there is a certain element that caters for coaches' salaries. So if we are serious about the U23 project, the FA can make an allocation to pay the salaries of Desmond Ofe as a U23 coach. It should not be an issue.
Yeah, I of course. I mean, if there's money, why not? Let's find money for him. There's no money, so we shouldn't qualify for Olympic Games. Hey, Immortal cry. I don't even understand it. Time check is 9:28. All right, now let's do the transfers. As I said, Manchester City have been busy. They have been moving players on. The latest one is Omar Mamouche. Now, City have he's joining Tottenham Hotspur on loan, right? So that's what's happening. City have already moved on Savinho, who these days says we should call him Savio, and now it will be Omar Mamouche. City have moved on Tijani Reinders to Al-Qadsiya, and and they've brought in some players: Elliot Anderson, Jeremy Monga, Pierce Charles, and Geronimo Rulli. Those are the signings that Man City have made. As I said, Savio to Tottenham Hotspur, Rodri to Barcelona, Tijani Reinders to Al-Qadsiya, James Trafford to Leeds, Regan Heskey to Cologne, Bernardo Silva to Real Madrid, that's a free, John Stones to Inter Milan, that's on a free, Nathan Ake to Fenerbahce for 8.5 million. So, Michael, City have made some good money from the exit. 75 million on Savio, 65 million on Rodri, 52 million on Tijani Reinders, 45 million on James Trafford, another 8.5 on Nathan Ake, another 6 million on Regan Heskey, with 2 of the exits being free transfers. That's a staggering amount in the account.
Yeah, very positive. And I think it points towards a certain focus that they want to clear out the squad and then gradually rebuild it in the image, and then also with the philosophy of the new coach, Enzo Maresca. And I think it's very positive. You look at players they've moved on, mostly, apart from Rodri, none of them were central figures or they were centerpieces in the City project. Yes, Bernardo Silva left on a free, his contract expired. And I think if he was still central to the club's plans, they would have worked hard to get him on board for 2 more years. But they allowed him to move for free. Again, Tijani Reinders and all the players you mentioned, there were players who were not really mainstays in the City team. Nico Gonzalez is on the verge of joining Newcastle United. So in terms of the midfield, the only established starter, the one you can actually say was a key cornerstone of a City project, is Rodri. And I don't think it is a signing they expected. So it is a transfer they expected to make. But it just happened. The player wanted to move elsewhere, and the club had to respect his decisions. And then you look at the other players who have moved on. So City wants to clear the squad list. One, it will free up the wage bill so that in future, when they are making additions, they don't really have to contend with breaching the PSR rules or the squad cost rules or regulations that have been put in place by the Premier League, and then its relative effect on the UEFA own financial restrictions. So they have made this to clear the wage bill. And what I anticipate is that City will likely go heavy in the January transfer window or at the next summer transfer window. But in this window, they will make some 1 or 2 additions just to keep the team in shape so that they can play throughout the season. Again, it also signals the point that then they will not really put much pressure on Maresca to win at once or win immediately. Pep Guardiola left because he felt he had burnt out every energy in his tank, and he felt that the passion tank of the players has also run dry. So he needed, the club needed a new face, someone who will come with new ideas, someone who will come and then try to revive the team in that contest. Maresca comes on board. I think it will be very unfair on the part of the City hierarchy to expect him to win now. So if you can't win now, what do we do to help you get closer towards that? Which is to back him in the transfer market. But I think the most important thing, and the cue I took from Maresca during his time at Chelsea, was that his focus was working with a small squad size. He doesn't want to work with too many players. And it is because you don't want too many disgruntled players in your dressing room. You don't want players feeling too unhappy because they are not getting enough playing time. So you work with a small squad size, and it even allows you to focus on development in terms of your tactics, development in terms of players, and how it fits into the grand plan in playing to get the results and then playing to perform. So I think, yes, this is what Maresca intends to win, and it has fed into what the club also intends to win. And I think it is good enough that they are also making money from some of these French players. It is very, very positive. So kudos to Man City. But I don't know, will Mamouche also change his name to Mamo? Because Savinho changed his name to Savio. And I don't know how that plays into his stint as Tottenham Hotspur. But it is interesting. I am very happy for City that they are doing this so that Maresca can bring players that he likes and players that he can. Because if they had kept the old core, there is also that option of players somehow kicking against him and working against him. The clear case of Chelsea and Andre Villas-Boas, where a coach does well at a relatively lower side, a lower league, he comes into a dressing room and is not able to command that authority. These are players who challenged Pep. And these are players who have seen it all. They've won. So if you enter that dressing room and then you don't have that control, it could be problematic. And I think this strategy from City is geared towards that. Moving on players, especially those who are not playing regularly, and then making sure they add not enough numbers and then size up their season and then look at the way forward in terms of what they want to do. And I think it is very, very positive.
Okay. I mean, in terms of Manchester City's business, there's still this issue of Enzo Fernandez, right? According to some reports, City will go back and test Chelsea's resolve for Enzo Fernandez. They were giving a 14th August deadline. They didn't submit a bid then, but some people believe that they will go back. They will go back to they'll go back to make an offer. Michael, how do you think this story will play out, this Enzo Fernandez business? And then we go to Spain to talk about Julian Alvarez and this saga involving himself and Atletico and Arsenal, all of that. Enzo Fernandez, do you think he will eventually exit?
For the right price, Chelsea are no Atletico Madrid, and they've already indicated that they are willing to do business with any club that is interested in the player. They set a certain figure, and it had a deadline. That deadline has elapsed. So it means if City are going heavy for Enzo, considering the prevailing circumstances, the season has already started. There is little time for Chelsea to invest back in the market and then get an adequate replacement for him. 2, it will create an inconvenience for Chelsea in the sense that even if they get a replacement, they will likely have to overpay due to the same situation where City will have to overpay for Enzo. So it puts Chelsea in a very dicey situation. But at this stage of the season, and in terms of Chelsea's finances, they will want money to come in more than go out. So any business that is good enough, they would want to do it. And Enzo is not a player who Chelsea would feel reluctant to move on. So I think it is positive. Again, for the player, he gets his wish. He has been feeling disgruntled for quite some time now. He's been very unhappy. There have been instances where he's had a spat with his own teammate. Reference is the game against PSG, where he felt the then goalkeeper, Philip Jorgensen, did not do well. He publicly, in the full glare of the viewing public, he was not happy, and he had a spat with the goalkeeper. He's described the Chelsea project as one that cannot match his ambitions, and when players say this, it means that they definitely have their eye on some 1 or 2 destinations. It's unfortunate that Real Madrid link never materialized into something concrete. But then again, Man City have showed an interest, and he's going to work with a manager he knows too well, a manager that he likes to work under, and he's also going to make extra money. Let's not forget that. So I think this deal works for Enzo Fernandez in various ways. For Maresca, I think he's getting a player he's familiar working with. And again, I have said this. I think the City project, in terms of the transfer move for Elliot Anderson, I think all attention and focus should have been geared towards Enzo Fernandez instead. I have watched Elliot Anderson, maybe it's early days yet in the season, but I am struggling to see where he will fit in this City team, especially when Maresca decides to play with Ryan Cherki, because Elliot Anderson is more like an 8. And if you are signing Enzo Fernandez, that is basically the role he's going to play. I don't think Enzo, due to what he has done with Chelsea, and then how he's grown a certain appetite for moving forward, crashing the box and scoring goals. Last season, he was one of Chelsea's top scorers. I don't think he will settle in a setup that restricts him to a number 6, where he has to sit, have a lot of discipline, and do more of ball distribution and circulation. I don't think he'll be comfortable doing that. So Enzo, to me, I think would love to perform as an 8, as a number 8. And Elliot Anderson cannot really do a number 6 job. So I think if City sign Enzo Fernandez, they are only signing an upgrade on Elliot Anderson. No disrespect to him, but Elliot Anderson just had a very good season at Nottingham Forest, and that is it. But in terms of pedigree, in terms of consistency, I would choose an Enzo Fernandez over him. And in the number 8 position, in terms of specialty and what every player brings to the party, I would prefer an Enzo Fernandez. So I would not have moved all out to sign Elliot Anderson. I would have rather waited and then push for Enzo Fernandez and then use that Elliot Anderson money to address that particular issue of City needing a number 6. They've gotten Ayub Wadi, and it's positive. So the reconstruction of the City midfield, in my opinion, will be like this: Ayub Wadi, Enzo Fernandez, and Ryan Cherki. Elliot Anderson then becomes like a player who has been bought with a very huge price tag, but the manager does not really have an immediate need for him in the team. So you get a point I was trying to raise. He doesn't. What will be his exact role? Because Boadi has come. Enzo Fernandez, if he is signed, will then have to play as the 8. Even if it's a double pivot, like Maresca did at Chelsea with Caicedo and Enzo, it means Enzo will play the role as the number 8. Then what happens to Elliot Anderson? And that creates a big issue. So I don't get it. I think strategy-wise, the Elliot Anderson signing is starting to look like maybe City rushed, or maybe they did not envisage that Rodri will be leaving. It would have made them calm down, and maybe they would have gone for Ayub Boadi, but he would still have played one more year on loan at Leo, then he joins the next season. So that Rodri transfer has maybe had a knock-on effect, and it's triggered certain developments in the team. But I think Enzo seals the number 8 role better than Elliot Anderson. But let's see what happens. Coaches are hired to solve problems like this or challenges like this, they are the ones allowed to bring solutions into the team to improve the team. So if this is a challenge, then Enzo Maresca should be solving it. But I think, judging by the business stand, they didn't need too many signings. The focus should have been players moving out, and I think so far they've done very well at that.
Okay, let's wrap up the conversation with Julian Alvarez and where he goes. Does he go to Barcelona? Does he stay at Atletico Madrid? How do you think the story ends? Because last week Sunday, what I watched was a very, very unpalatable scene of a player who had upset his team's fans. And I don't know where that relationship is with, that relationship between Alvarez and the Atleti fans. I don't know where it is at right now. But from what I saw, the fans clearly the fans are not happy with how he's conducted himself so far.
Yeah, and I think together with his agent, Fernando Hidalgo, they did not really approach the whole situation with tact. There are times where players, yes, they make it known they want to leave. But again, they are very tactful in how they conduct themselves, especially in speaking publicly about it. The agent, before the season ended, I think right before Atleti played Arsenal in the first leg of the UCL semi-final last season, the agent was on El Chiringuito, and he was granting interviews speaking about how Julian adored Barcelona due to the Messi link, and how some of the Barca players were familiar with Julian and how they've struck some kind of camaraderie. I think it was off for me. The season was still ongoing, and the club were busy competing in the Champions League. And for the agent of a player to grant audience to a renowned TV station and openly discuss transfer rumors, I think it was in bad taste. And it owes to the reaction and then the behavior of the Atleti hierarchy. Again, for Julian, when he spoke at the World Cup, after a game where he said the best situation was a transfer so that it doesn't create any acrimony or whatever it is, I think they did not really conduct themselves with tact. Compare the same scenario to Enzo Fernandez. Yes, we know that Enzo publicly wants to leave. The only thing he's done, which you can say is untoward, is that he was publicly flirting with Real Madrid, that he loves the city of Madrid, his wife, blah, blah, blah. But it's just that. We did not hear Enzo speak at the World Cup. He has not spoken in any contest to ridicule the Chelsea project or make it look like the Chelsea project was not really ambitious. He's handled himself well. His agent has rather acted behind the scenes to try and find opportunities for him. So, yes, Enzo Fernandez might not have conducted himself in a way you deem fully appropriate. But I think in the contest of between him and Julian Alvarez, his is more appropriate than Alvarez's. And they didn't do well. Now, where are they now? I think the divorce between him and Atleti, I don't think it is something that can be repaired. This is beyond repairable. So the only way forward is a transfer out. But Atleti have sworn heaven and hell that they won't do business with Barcelona. So it restricts them. You get it? It restricts them to just maybe a market outside Spain. Because as it stands now, selling to a direct rival might be a big blow unless for big money. And there are no guarantees Barca will go beyond 150 million euros for him. If Atleti are doing business for 150 million, they are likely looking at breaking even or perhaps counting their losses because they signed him for a combined 90 million euros. They are paying him good money. So if they've paid the first 2 years of his salary, then you're looking at the outlay on Alvarez alone exceeding or getting close to 150 million euros. So if Atleti sells him now for 150 million euros, yes, amortization, whatever, I still think the book value on Alvarez should be more than the 150 million euros. And I don't think Barca will want to go beyond that. They are not ready. And Atleti are not even ready to negotiate with Barcelona. So it restricts them in the market. I think the more sensible football decision will be for Atleti to at least be a bit flexible in their stance, for Barcelona to find ways to resolve this issue. And the only way forward is through a mediator. I think the agent of Alvarez is the wrong person to suggest now. He's not neutral. There are times when transfers get to situations like this, when it's in a deadlock, where you hire the services of experienced negotiators or agents, like Jorge Mendes, to come in and then mediate the whole situation. So Mendes approaches Atleti, tries to understand their position, their interest, approaches Alvarez to understand his position and interest, and then try to find a common ground agreement between the parties. And then the transfer is negotiated and the player has to move. But the time is not their best friend now. So I think, yes, Alvarez will need to calm down. He will need to apologize, play this season, and then the next season, I think Atleti would have their hearts softened a bit, and then they can discuss a transfer. I think that is the more sensible football approach, looking at the current circumstances, because I don't think overnight Barca will fork 300 million to go and buy Alvarez. I don't think it will happen. And I don't think Arsenal are so serious on this operation like they were regarding the Vinny Jr. one. Okay. Maybe Arsenal will get serious about Alvarez when they're able to sell Gabriel Martinelli for good money, and then they would invest in the Alvarez operation. And I don't think the player even wants to move to Arsenal. So it's a whole conflicted situation, a bit chaotic. And the more sensible approach will be the player apologizing to the club, getting into a formal agreement with the club. Like Ronaldo, they were Manchester United. He wanted to leave for Real Madrid. Ferguson said, hell no, it won't happen. He stayed. The next season, United kept to their promise, sold the player, but for the right amount of money. I think Atleti and Julian, they should come together and approach it in a similar manner. But before, the player needs to show remorse and apologize to the Atleti fraternity for whatever thing is done that is untoward. And I think they can mend the broken relationship.
Well, we'll see how things play out. I find the whole thing, as I said last week, and what I witnessed was tough to watch. But I find it slightly amusing, right? Looking at all of this, and I'm just asking myself, so what if next season Barcelona end up being the only team still in the hunt for Alvarez? Will Atletico Madrid sell the player? That is a question. That's the question. Time check is 9:48. Let me open the phone lines. I want to hear what listeners have got to tell us. Some of your WhatsApp messages too have come through. I will go through those messages before we sign out. Give me a call, 054 257 1061 054 257 1061 030 279 4805. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Good morning, Dan.
Yes, good morning.
How you guys doing?
Yes, we are fine, thank you.
Emmanuel, I'm loving the conversation this morning.
Yes, sir.
Do Barca need to negotiate?
Do Barca do what?
Do Barca need to negotiate?
Why?
They should go and pay the release clause. See, like the way PSG came, 222 million fine, took the player away.
Yeah.
Let's go pay his release clause and stop this. You know the money, say one player. You know the money. They say 500 million. They don't want to negotiate anything with you. Just go and pay the money and take the player away. That was with them problem. See, there's no. See, ATM are not negotiating with Barca. That's the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way Barca can get William Alvarez is just go and pay his release clause. And that one, you don't get the money. Listen, you see the way people are selling how they call it, players and cashing out.
Uh-huh.
Look, see, how did Chelsea manage to sell Delap for over 40 million pounds?
Who? Delap?
Delap.
Yes. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, they are very good at selling their players.
United cannot even sell one player. Hey, what is sexy? Rashford, Mount, Luke Shaw, Maguire. So they can't say any of them. Listen, I don't get it too. Why is it so difficult for United to upload players? Unless they go on the free yeah, it is like, because, for free.
Yeah, it's because United for years have had this very bad habit of putting players on high wages.
Yeah, they're bad players. Yes. They don't pay native too.
So
overpaying players.
Yeah, so a lot of teams can't pay. A lot of teams realistically, for example, the wages.
The Rashford mood.
Yes, or the wages Jadon Sancho was on. Nobody was going to take that. So the best you get is a loan here and there until the contract.
I've been saying that United are the Saudi Arabia club in England. Let that be true, because the way they pay players and the wages they give the players.
Yeah. It is why that's what the Ineos people are trying to correct now. That's what they've been trying to repair.
That Woodward guy, he can't destroy United. Hi, he can't destroy United. But United cannot even sell Joshua Zexi. But Chelsea was able to sell the lead. Who scored one goal for over 45 million?
Mm-hmm.
But this is serious. This is so serious. But Nathan, these are Olympic qualified.
Yes.
There's more fair. Over to you. This is the time for you to justify yourself. For over 20 years, you've never been in the Olympics. Nathan, you are seeing just finished in just two places. See, these two places, we are failed to qualify for pass that place for over 20 years. It's not just Nathan. What we are saying is just finish in the top two. For over 20 years, you have not been able to finish the top two.
No, but you see, the format of the Olympic Games, the qualifiers has changed over time. Back in the day, you play home and away until there's one team left or two teams. It's why in 2008 we couldn't call it. It was Nigeria that eliminated us in 2008.
Yeah.
So the format has changed. This time we play an under-23 AFCON. So you have to qualify to.
But is it the first edition?
No. It was.
But this is not the first edition.
Tanko tried it. We got to the semi-finals. We lost the semi-finals, and then we had to win the third and fourth place game. We didn't win.
Hey. It's not just Odita.
You're right. It's not just qualified to the semi-final. It's not at all.
It's not just because we have been waiting for this time for over 20 years now. You have not been able to do it. So Jonathan, this one here, over to him. If he can qualify us for the Olympics, then maybe you will get a chance.
Okay.
Matter. If not, Charlie, you should get there's maybe. I don't think he deserves me the Black Stars job. So Charlie,
okay.
You guys have a good.
All right, thank you so much. 054-257-1061. We'll take a few more calls and then we'll wrap it up. I have your messages to read. We'll go through the messages. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Matama guy.
Yes, sir.
Matama. Oh.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, bro.
Good morning.
Charlie, shout out to you, Mota, Raymond, and Michael as well. I forget Michael.
Okay, all right.
Michael,
please go ahead.
It's a good man. So Michael, I is still on pass.
Michael is a super guy.
I swear you. He's one of the best, bro.
Yeah, he is.
Charlie, me, I'm happy for my team. The way they are signing players, moving players off, selling players, bringing new players. I'm happy for them. See, that's why we are the light of England. If you go to England right now, we are the light. Yes, we are the big team in England right now.
Mm-hmm.
There is no team. See, the way they do their things, but this everything that we share. See, look at the first game that we played. They have to play Magdalene rather as a midfielder. Magdalene, the defender, they are playing the defender as a midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
You know the midfielder, you are just useless for them. They have to take you off of the game. See, the guy is that bad. See, but they take that money, go buy you. See, I'm happy that they are bringing those players. So Enzo Fernandez, I'm praying that they should bring that 1.2 because Enzo Fernandez will help you a lot. Enzo Fernandez with this Ayubuari guy, Charlie, checking the Charlie, who do all this thing. So I'm praying that Enzo Fernandez this thing will come true. That's all we have to go. Charlie, thank you.
All right.
Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you so much. Time check is 9:55. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Leighton.
Yes, good morning.
This is Osben.
All right, Osben, please go ahead.
Okay, so a bit on Kwesi Sibo's transfer.
Yep.
And the hula baloo about why he should go to Libya and all this stuff. My brother, footballer's career is just short.
Mm-hmm.
You can get injured and that is it. We've seen up and coming promising players whose career ended with just one kick. And that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If Sibo was your brother and you were to advise him, I am sure you will tell him, Masa, go for the cash, $10 million for 2 years, which in his life, he might not even get it. We've seen players do this. Our own Asamoah did it when he went to Al-Ain. Hawk went to China. So many. Please, let's give the guy the chance. Charlie, he will make money, my brother.
Yeah, I mean, he will ask for money, then he will make money.
Yes, and I like the. I'm hearing he has taken 50% of the signing on fee.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know he took some. I'm not sure, but yeah, he took some money up front, which is good. I mean.
And yesterday I was listening to Eric during the evening show, and he made it point blank that even if they are not able to pay him, he is willing to help the boy to recoup his money. So let's give the boy opportunity. Yes. With Chelsea, I don't know who is handling the transfers. Chelsea is doing serious business. Tell it to sell the lab for 45 million, and Jackson is going for about 70. Charlie, these people are doing real business. And for Enzo, I think we should let him go. 130, 140 million is cool cash. We can replace him with Scott or any other who can help the team. Charlie, all the best and have a good morning.
All right. Thank you so much. Time check is 9:57. We'll take one more call, and then I go through your messages, and then we call it a morning. Hello?
Nathan, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Nathan, today I'm calling you from the Osubadu Street.
Okay, that's very close to us.
I'm just a phone throw away from you guys.
Okay, all right.
Nathan, you see, Barcelona. As a Chelsea fan, I also have a soft spot for Barcelona. It doesn't happen many times, but Nathan, I feel like if you don't have money, don't go and set fire in someone's team. Don't go and unstabilize someone's player. You don't have the money. You don't have the money to pull out the transfer. So why then disturb the whole saga and everything? You go back and forth, and this is what I've told you how much they want to sell the boy. If you are not ready, just walk away and then allow them to do have their team and then continue to be preparation towards them to whatever is ahead of them as far as the season is concerned. It's also not nice. Nathan, it's also unfortunate as a Chelsea fan. It really breaks my heart, and I feel like Enzo Fernandez is about to leave us, and it really breaks my heart. But Nathan, there's nothing I can do about it. But you see, Chelsea, we will always be in the news. Sometimes for success reasons, but this time around, Nathan, we are in the news because we are doing business. Nathan, this is not what we are known for. No, Nathan, come on, it's a mutual fact. Nathan, you know this.
That what Chelsea is not known for doing business.
We are not a selling club, Chelsea, Nathan.
Yeah.
Chelsea is not a selling club. Chelsea, the Chelsea I joined, it's a Chelsea that will break bank to find, an already made player with a mind of trying to win laurels with players. But this time around, the whole narrative has changed, and Nathan, they are always Nathan, this boy is calling with my emotions.
Nathan.
No, Nathan, seriously. Nathan, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The Chelsea was known for all these years. Nathan, are we known for doing this Tonaton, this GT, this?
No. I mean, the model has changed.
You see, sometimes when we were watching the game against Fulham, one of our colleagues Chelsea fans were, they were lambasting Enzo Fernandez and throwing down from here, and I was like, yo, Charlie, these boys, they want to win trophies, and with the kind of model you guys are running, it's a clear indication and a true reflection that you guys are not even building a team to win trophies. You are just doing, business with the team. You understand? Because a player like Enzo Fernandez, he would be happy to see Chelsea in the news trying to sign a player like William Alvarez, trying to lure a player like Ayub Wadi into the team. You know, like, but the narrative has changed, and this time around, you always see a top like a big boy in the Chelsea team sold out, and it has become part and parcel of us now. And Nathan, a player that has a lot of ambition, do you think that player will sacrifice his career for Chelsea now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Nathan, you know, sometimes when I think about the fact that Abramovich is no more, the thanks a lot about him, Nathan, it really hurts.
Yeah, I told you that the model has changed. The Clear Lake people, they view football very differently.
They should go and continue with their baseball or whatsoever they were doing. Football is not here.
Yeah, they view things. They are not in the business of buying all these big names. No, they want to buy young players, develop them, and sell them for a profit. In that regard, I think they've made Chelsea a lot of money.
But you know, after all said and done, Nathan, the stone the builder refused has become a cornerstone.
Uh-huh.
The Chelsea people were lambasting here and there. Now people are rooting for us to be the one to stop us now as far as the Premier League is concerned. Nathan, nobody to do with it. Nathan, you know, let me not see the line and then, you know,
okay.
Nathan, we have tomorrow to also enjoy it in Sporty Breakfast.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your day, my brother.
Otumfo, take care then. Thank you. All right, time check is 2:08. My producers, can you please give me some WhatsApp messages? Let me go through the WhatsApp messages and then we'll try and wrap it up. My line is blinking. Let me take this final caller whilst we take the WhatsApp messages. Hello?
If you don't pick this call, like, you will pay me, Papa. Good morning.
Michael, please go ahead.
You see, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Those who are saying that Asamoah went to India, this thing, I don't know, they are talking about other places.
Yeah.
The time when Asamoah went to Al-Ain, know what you saying?
Oh, he was late 20s, maybe.
Oh, no, not of the career, no.
Okay, no, call Ella. No, he went to, because when he went to Al-Ain, he was still playing for the Black Stars.
I know. Okay, so right now, they ask you one question.
I'm trying to remember.
He's in Libya right now, so you think that he's going to because of the Black Stars?
Oh no, I don't think.
So you have more time. You have about 6-7 years in front of you to play, and you think you are going to Libya, you are going to be called to the Black Stars, and the Black Stars, the national team, is the only place that you play that can project you to bigger clubs. Example is Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah.
From Bristol City. When he was called to the Black Stars, straight to bomb of Manchester City.
Yeah.
Gideon Mensah from Auxerre, straight to FC Cologne. You see the transfers. So you have to, we know that the monetary aspect is good, but then sometimes you have to think about your career as a player. Understand? And that interview, he came out and said that the EPL teams and the La Liga teams, they lie. They lie, the total lie. And they tell you to be total lie. You think that if Coventry City wanted Kwesi Sibo, they wouldn't bring out money to go and sign him.
Yeah,
they then get money.
Yeah.
You have money. So if they want a player and they see that you fit their profile, they will go in or out and bring you. Look at Antonio Silva from Benfica. Since we're chasing Antonio Silva, left, right, center. But then Bournemouth said, I want this player. They went for him. Evan Nielsen from FC Porto. Bournemouth went all the way to FC Porto and signed Evan Nielsen.
Yeah.
You see, the EPL is when they need you, they go all out for you. So that interview when he came out and said, so that Al-Swehly for now, so they were part of the teams who wanted Kwesi Sibo.
Why?
The Libyan club they are signed for.
Al-Swehly. That one I won't know. My name is no more.
So, we know that the monetary aspect is good, but then you are only here. You are not in your late 30s. I don't know 27, was saying.
28.
More years when you. 28. More years when you. So the South transfer, when even the what is can, and then even come to Libyan clubs, this Libyan clubs can. I don't know that they are going to fulfill all their promising of the amount. About 1-2 years, then they will start misbehaving. Then you take it to CAF, then Tally 119, then Tally others. So me, even though he's getting a lot of money, but then you think about the career. If you're in your late 30s, they are fine, understood. They're going to get the money. Look at Party. He has Gladwell is feeding you. Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal. He's an established player. Even as he speaks, he's going to be called to the national team. But then this transfer you made, Black Stars out, you are not going. Even you Kwesi Sibo Krampo. I say why say Unima and Sema Ufumiswa and Tusi. What I say. So going to Al-Swehly then downgrade, total downgrade. His career at the national team is not going to be called. And for future transfers, no team is going to look at you. One goal and a Libyan League, no other sign. In the next team, will be Team United. After the Akwakusi. So I think never do as a player. They should factor certain things. Even the money is good, but they won't factor maybe. So I think he said he didn't play for Stoke City. Up to now, it pains him. He didn't sign for Stoke City. Revenue Kofi. Last time he was making that interview. He said, up to now, it pains him that he didn't sign for Stoke City. So you can get all the money, but in the future, maybe you're going to regret it. Thank you.
All right, Michael, thank you so much. All right, I think that will end our calling section. Let me just read messages and then we will pack it up. Nathan from Kaswa says, the Alvarez situation is interesting. What I'm struggling to understand is if the player knew his dream club was Barcelona, how was he and his agent not smart enough to put in a clause that gives him an easy way out in times like these? Now you have 4 years left and you are crying all over that you want to go to Barcelona. Meanwhile, the club doesn't have the money to trigger your release clause. I think the players should just be professional because the way out for him is surely not through rebellion, especially not at a club like Atletico Madrid. As for Chelsea and how they are selling their average players for good money, Man United should learn a thing or two from them. All right. This one says, Awudu Sarkodie from Medina says, Kwesi Sibo shouldn't listen to anybody. He should go for the money and he'll still play for the Black Stars. Yeah, I mean, that is not outside the realms of possibility. It's very possible he still gets called up to play for the Black Stars. This one says, I'm surprised people are criticizing Kwesi Sibo's move to Libya. It was purely motivated by the money. In Ghana and Africa, such decisions are taken with the whole family of the player involved because they will all expect to enjoy from that money. Okay. Oscar moved from Chelsea to China because of money. All right. This one says, if Sibo says Premier League teams wanted him, it doesn't mean they would have paid him more than 10 million USD. Who cares about the Black Stars when he has $10 million as a signing on fee? Okay. All right. Will Black Stars even pay him $50,000 per match? All right, interesting thoughts there. Raiding is asking if we have any updates on Rafael Leão. Well, Rafael Leão, as of now, is still an AC Milan player. Nobody knows, what the move is. Some clubs were kind of interested. Galatasaray were interested. Aston Villa were interested, but they have withdrawn their interest according to reports from Italy. Now they are saying, AC Milan are saying they want 50 million euros plus 10 in bonuses for the 27-year-old. So that is the thing there. The reports are that Galatasaray still want to sign, but they don't want to go above a certain limit. So they are still in discussions with AC Milan for the player. Oscar from Satellite says, I think Julian Alvarez has shown gross disrespect to Atletico Madrid. He hasn't even lived up to expectations, looking at the amount Atletico spent on him from Manchester City. All right. Sports Messiah from Amasaman Fise says he's wishing the Black Meteors the best of luck in the qualifiers, and he thinks Carlos Baleba is a good addition to Manchester United. All right. This one says, I think if the GFA president stops influencing coaches when it comes to calling players, the Black Stars will be like the Super Eagles. Players who deserve a call-up should be called and not people's favorites. Okay, Esiam Joseph from Koforidia sent that particular message. All right, that's where we will draw the curtain on today's edition of the Sporty Breakfast, but Raymond wants to say something.
We have a sports funeral to attend.
Oh, we have a sports funeral to attend?
We have a sports funeral to attend.
Why, what's going on?
My very good friend and brother, he's bereaved at the moment. My very good friend, Ohinu Bampo Brenya.
Okay.
You know Ohinu Bampo?
Yes, I know Ohinu Bampo.
Executive member of Swag. Executive member.
Yes.
Formerly of Happy FM,
yes.
morning show host.
Yes.
He's bereaved. He's lost his mother-in-law.
Okay.
Yes, and he wants us to, come in our numbers to show support.
Okay.
Ohene Brenya is not in town at the moment, so he would need a lot of support. So funeral arrangements are as follows. Friday the 28th of August 2026. The burial service will take place at St. Paul's Methodist Church, Tema Community 1. And the interment will be at Tema Community 9, attire is black and white. And then on Sunday the 30th of August 2026, memorial and Thanksgiving service at the Gethsemane Methodist Church, Bachon Aspintex Road. Attire is all white. So Madame Beatrice Chudetampia goes home age 75. And Ohene Bampo Brenya, our condolences to you and your family. And we'll be there in our numbers.
Condolences.
What is that?
That's what I do is sports funeral.
Yeah, it's a sports funeral.
Okay.
So
we
have to support our brother.
You have a caller on the line, right? We do have a caller on the line from Canada, I'm told. Let me take this final caller and then we'll wrap it up. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes.
This is 4 a.m. here in Canada, and I'm calling from Alberta, Edmonton, Canada.
Okay.
My name is Kopa. I've been hoping to come on your program. But Nathan, there's something I would really want to bring to you on board. I am a Barca fan, and deep down my heart, I wish Barcelona would stop pursuing our boys.
Why?
How many goals have this guy scored for? How many goals have he scored for? Combined goals for within Man City and Athletic. Just combined. Are you able to tell me? He has played for 200 games and scored less than 100 goals. Why is anybody pursuing this guy? And we have reason not to pursue. When it happens like this, they will never be able to play. So deep down my heart, I wish Barca will stop pursuing the guy and look for other alternatives. It pained me so much that we are still pursuing this other guy. So far as they don't want to release him, I think we should pursue him in all manner of fairness, because he's not going to perform. He's going to go against us and go back free, just as they happened with the other guys who came to play. It really breaks my heart.
Okay.
Listen,
okay.
It really breaks me that we're still following this guy. Thank you for the program. I listen to you. It is done here. I'm hoping to wake up to go to work, but I'm still listening to your program. I can't stop listening to Sporty Breakfast.
Thank you.
You guys should keep it up. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All the best. Take care. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you too. Ray, having to wake up to listen to us before going to work. Yeah. Wow, that's huge. Thank you so much for the call from Canada. We really appreciate the fact that you take time out to listen. And you even called. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Time check is 10:14. We are wrapping it up this morning. My name is Nathan. I did this with Raymond Yamado. Earlier you heard Michael Asai-Bredu. Thank you to all our listeners. If you called in or sent in a message, thank you. If you tuned in, thank you. Many shouts to my production team, Immortal, Angela, Nane, Kia, and Abigail. Many shouts to my DJ Fidelis. Many shouts to Biggie and the technical guys. To our team lead Gary Al-Swehly, thank you for the executive direction. Remember to keep your dials locked on Sporty FM. When we sign off at 10:30, there will be the MTN Elite U19 Championship. It's happening at the Ghanaman Soccer Center of Excellence, and we'll give you live radio commentary as the regions go at each other